Welcome to SOULvivors podcast. I'm Jaden.
And I'm Sergio.
And this is episode 4.
Numero cuatro.
And today we have a very special day ahead of us. As you can see, we're dressed in all pink. For the viewers, if you're not watching us and streaming us on all of our other platforms, we're dressed up to the nines in pink today because it's personally my favorite time of the month.
It is.
Yes, I love it. I love Valentine's Day, and that's what today's theme is.
And topic.
Yes. So we got our Valentine's Day special.
Yes, we do.
And how are you feeling about that?
I think it fits well with what we're going to talk about, and we'll get into too on love has a spectrum.
Love on the spectrum. Don't sue us, because isn't that a show?
Is it? I don't know.
I think that's a show. Anyways,
don't sue us.
To shimmy things into the first topic, Sergio, do you love me?
I sure do.
No way, really?
Yeah.
Care to dive in?
Dive in deep into the dwells of the oceans. No,
not like that. But
I know, that was dark.
When did you really realize that you loved me as a friend?
This is from my memory, so maybe have a different sort of memory. But for me, though, I would say I don't remember the exact time per se, but I know it was in high school. We got into like this really big argument, and I'm sorry, it was after high school when we started rekindling. We got into a really big ass argument, and then
sounds on brand.
And then basically like we were going off on each other, and then I remember you said something in the lines of like, well, if you can't fucking stand me, if you think I'm a bitch, if you think I'm this and that, then why are you even friends with me? And then I just remember it was just like, because I fucking love you. Like, like dealing with your shit, like, but like I care about you as a human being. Like we're one of the few persons that like I've ever got to just know, and without having to be like any sort of like, oh, thank you. Any sort of like, like a sexual partner. Like, no, like it's, or the first person that I care about that's not like blood related. That to me was just like a big deal at the time. And mind you, like I had complicated friendships. Some of them, we still keep in touch, but it's not like the same dynamic as that what we have. And yeah, so I remember just laying it all the time because I fucking love you. I care about you. And yeah, that's my recollection. Sorry.
That was so aggressive.
What do you mean?
You're like, because I love you.
Oh yeah, that part. Yeah. Well, it's because, girl, at the time you was getting me pissed off. Like, oh my God. Like, girl.
Okay, well, let's
boys
get
and them.
Let's get into it.
Okay.
What defines our relationship lasting compared to another friendship that might have fallen off? Like, what's that varying key where you're like, fuck, I can put up with this girl's bullshit and she is my friend no matter what? Like, what was that? Was there a moment for you when you realized that? Or was that
I think it was on that time when I said I love you. Was like an eye-opener to me at the same time too, because I was like, oh shit, I've never like said this to like any, like I've had, but it's been a while for me to actually use that word, because mind you, Jaden, like I use love like when I mean it. Like I'm the type of person like I will not use the word love unless I mean it.
Yeah, because there's people out there that'll be like,
that'd be yeah,
just throwing out love. I can be one of them, low key, where it's just like, hey, love, or what's up, love.
Well, no. I mean, but that's fine. It's just like a cute nickname. That's different, in my opinion. Mm. Again, if you feel otherwise, go on ahead and comment down below. But, but I understand. Like, hey, babes, I love. Like, that's how I see that as. Mm-hmm. But like to actually be like, I love you, and like
sit down and
be like and have a conversation, be like, I love you. Mm-hmm. You know, like that to me is just like I really mean it though. Mm-hmm. I'm not gonna just throw I love you like out my ass. Like, and the reason why I say that is because I used to do that, and I found until I found out, you know, the receiving end. Now I know how that felt, and it feels like shit when when they weren't using it like on purpose or with an actual emotional, you know, context.
Where there's sense? No intention behind it.
Yeah. So I think that's when I found out, like, damn, like, there is such thing as, like, because I've been heartbroken so many times, and not just, like, with boys, but, like, friendships and family members, you know. That's real. It's real. It really is real, in my opinion, and I think it's one of, like, the strongest, or not strongest, but one of the most beautiful things in life, but also the ugly. And that, if that makes sense.
I believe that it's like the strongest force in the universe. The strongest energy force, love.
I agree.
For me, I definitely love you as a fucking friend. Friend. Emphasis on friend.
Okay, amigo.
I'm just kidding.
That's where the boundary.
No, just, and all jokes aside, why I value our friendship so much is because we can be real with each other, and we check each other when we know we might be falling off path.
Yeah.
And that's something I definitely value in our friendship, because that being real is something that's not seen a lot.
Yeah.
I feel.
I totally
and
agree.
It sucks because, like, you would wish people, strangers, would just have the best intention, because we're all just walking each other in this journey, you know? But that's not always the case. There's people with hidden intentions, hidden values, and that's why I definitely, the people I keep in my circle, I do want to say I love them, because that's something you don't really get too often nowadays. That real shit, we're going to call you out, you're going to actually, like, work through shit when things hit the fan. You've been there through my darkest moments, and vice versa, you know? So that's something that I value, where it's, and not using that against each other when shit goes wrong. That's something.
That was the one thing I was going to say too, is that we literally did or are doing our best to not, like, bring, like, our weaknesses up to one another, and I think that's awesome and beautiful. Because it's so hard to find, because, you know, the shit hits the fan when someone brings up or threatens you with that vulnerability that you have, and you're just like, wow. And that shit gets twisted in so many levels. But yeah, I also agree, Jaden, and I am blessed to have you in my life. Like, kid you not. I feel the same way. Thank you. You've been there in my darkest moments, and which is why I don't care what anyone motherfucking says, whether if it's blood or whether if it's non-blood. I see you as my family. Like,
I agree.
Like, straight up. And, like, I can see growing up with you. Like,
we've grown up with each other. Like we've said, it's been 12 years, maybe plus, in the making of this friendship. The total journey of it, but yeah, likewise. I didn't think we'd get to this point. Starting a whole motherfucking podcast.
It was another like level into our friendship.
Yeah,
which is
that's crazy. For sure.
And we're, like, getting used to, like, our, like, professional ethical like work.
Our work dynamic.
Yeah. And we're learning about each other. Like,
yeah, there's still shit to learn about one another. We don't have it all
figured out and like
out
perfect.
about.
Yeah, no, we're still
all
like,
read. You know, like it's been a journey and it's been fun.
Yeah.
In the most part, I'm with my bestie. And yeah, so let's talk about your definition
of
of
love.
love.
Oh, girl. All right. You got them tissues? No.
How do you want to start off?
I will.
Do you want to run it back from when you were born, or
no, nothing like that. Well, I just want to say like what I define as love, and to me, I think love has no bounds. I think that once you have an understanding of how complex love really is, it to me, I got really deep with it. Like I really, one day I just like reflected, like, what is love? Why is there love? Why, like, how do us humans have like this sort of strong emotion that we just don't know how to control at times? And I just kept going and going. And then finally I just started answering like what I thought about love and what, how does it impact me in my life, and how I can impact someone else with that, strong emotional connection with. And shit, it got to me like, wow, like, I guess it's one of the reasons why I just have such a big philosophy on like, love to me is a serious word, an idea, and just something that we all have. Like, I know there's probably some people out there that feel that they don't, but there's something inside of each and every one of you that has at least an idea of what that is. And if you already have that implemented in your head, like, that means you know of something.
Well, sorry to cut you off.
No, you're good.
But I feel like the first love that people should get familiar is self-love.
Oh, that's a good inclusion too, because as corny as it sounds, what they say, how the hell are you gonna love someone else if you don't even love yourself? Or maybe that was like RuPaul Drag Race.
Well, shout outs to them.
Yes. But that, as corny as that shit sounds, is fucking true. It's true.
Yeah. Well, my definition of love is that love is love.
Is love?
Is love.
To the power of 3.
To the third time. Anyways, no, but yeah, love is a difficult topic for me to kind of get into, because I feel like there's different stages of love that we all encounter in life, whether that be with friends, with your family, with your coworkers, and even in personal relationships. But the one thing that I'm really focusing on within myself is, that self-love.
Yeah, I too think it's one of the hardest things that anyone can do. I mean, maybe someone else out there, see it fundamental than others, but to me, I also am like, even though I've found like my love, I still feel like I'm still working on myself on top of that, which is not saying that it's bad or anything, but that was my journey, and my journeys somehow was able to, I just knew that I was very like, just such an empathetic person. It was just easy for me to be nice to others, and wasn't easy to be nice on myself.
I could feel that. I feel like for me, I've always valued putting relationship with other people first rather than myself.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why I'm like now 25, just feeling like I'm rediscovering who I am and setting my own boundaries and um, creating my own value, essentially. I feel like you set your terms on how you stand in this world, and you shouldn't let other people define your value and who you are when you should trust in yourself and love in yourself enough to shake off all the bullshit. And that's why keeping a close friendship circle like that who people really have genuine intention just helps so much.
Yeah.
Because there's some fake ass friends out here.
Yeah. Oh my god, girl!
Fake.
I learned that shit in high school.
I mean,
maybe like I had an idea in middle school, but like in high school, shit. And then to me, what hurt more was finding out that some family members can be like that too.
Family members can be snake ass bitches.
Like that's sad and it hurts.
It's fucked up out here, but that's why knowing who you are and not letting anyone tear you down and having that strong self-esteem is really important to build and figure out. Everyone has their own shit that they're going through, but self-love is the best love. And that's what I'm advocating for this Valentine's Day.
The therapeutic love.
Just self-love. Give yourself that love. I wish we were sponsored by The Rose.
The Rose.
The Rose toy.
I have not heard of them.
Well, we can insert a picture here. No, but yeah, we're not. I shouldn't have said that. Anyways.
No, but I would like to add also, which actually segues into the next type of love, family love.
Good old family love.
Good old family love. And then I just want to put this out there clear. Family as in like doesn't have to be blood related. Like what you, the viewers, and us respectfully see someone as family. Like for example, I see Jaden as family, even though she's not like my blood family member. But yeah, just to put that out there. Do you want to start with family love? Like what do you...
Personally, I feel like family's hard. Mm-hmm. I'm at the point where like I've gone through a lot with my family, and I'm in a stage where I have to forgive my family for things and not put blame on them now that I'm an adult. And it's a hard reality to face when you feel like as a kid you were innocent and you didn't know any better, and you look to your parents and your adults for that guidance. So that's a resentment that, me personally, I've had to continue and move forward through that. I need to take responsibility for my life and hold myself accountable. I've learned that, but, it's just hard sometimes,
You do know. I understand. For me, sorry, did you want to say more or?
No.
Okay.
Cut me off.
I wanted to ask before I start, but I know exactly what you mean. Like, shit. When I finally realized, when I had the epiphany that family is some other level of like love, shit. That shit blew my mind. Like girl.
Are you the type to believe that you should love your family no matter what?
That's a hard question because I see the reasons why that belief is there, but the opposite too. Like I see like why you don't have to oblige by that rule, but the reason why I say it makes sense is because I'm starting to realize like, and I'm talking about my immediate family members, you know, like my mom, my sisters, my nephews, like they, my husband, I see you guys as like my immediate family members. But to go to like an extent, like my family, like my cousins, my aunts, it gets even more, like, it gets deeper, like really, really deeper and complex on what family or what your family is. And unfortunately, it had to, I had to realize, you know, with not just one funeral, but two funerals, and to made me understand how important family is and how beautiful it can be. Does that make sense? Like, but I also understand the opposite side's view, which is you get to choose your family. It did like just because this person says that they're my aunt or my blood related, whatever. Like, why should, like, why do I have to force myself to love this person when they don't respect me, when they don't give me that same vulnerability? That's, you know, it's hard. It's hard to to be like, oh, you need to love this person because he's your family and that's that, and you have to. I always question that shit. Like, why? They treat me like shit. Like, why? They did this to me, but why? And then it goes back to,
How do you feel about that?
Other.
How do you feel about if when family goes like justify doing fucked up shit by saying like because I loved you? Have you ever gotten told that?
I've had. For example, like, again, I love my mother. Bless her, my mama's boy here. If y'all haven't already know the past couple of episodes, but yeah, my mom, like, again, me and her went through so much, and there was a period of time where she was so scared of my sexuality, not because she was scared of like what, like people, how they judged me or whatever, but she was mostly concerned about my safety. She thought that being gay was just a number one threat to society, and she was scared for my safety. God. And that was the one main concern for her, was that I don't care that you like, you know, I'm never gonna forget, she said, I don't care that you like guys, like, I'm scared for your safety, which is why I'm doing this, because I love you. You know, well, and at that point we were going to like church counseling, and I did not want to go through it. Like, I was like, why are we doing this? Like, you don't. And then she told me her reasons, which was her way of showing her love, was because she was just more concerned about my safety. So
yeah,
and you know, it took me a while to see that.
Yeah. Family is, everyone has, I feel like it's a tricky subject because everyone has a different experience with their family.
Everyone is, yeah.
I personally come from a family where, you know, I'm good terms with everyone, but, you know, I've heard experiences from families where, like, it's, everyone got beef with each other, you know, like, or just crazy shit, and I just wish that people would put aside their differences, the greed, the whatever it may be, and come together, because family should be forever, I feel.
Yeah.
And that's why I'm very picky about now, like, who I date and who I let in my life, because I want to get married eventually, and I want to have kids, but I also don't want to put kids into the world where they're shown a fucked up kind of love family dynamic, you know. And I feel like that's where generational curses come in, because, you know, our parents were taught by our grandparents who only knew a certain type of way of living. They learn from their grandparents, and then it's just being passed on and passed on, and they're justifying it because it's just like, I came out fine, and this is how I was raised.
And so you should too.
And this is just what it is, you know? And I feel like as we grow older, we should be conscious enough to know that, like, hey, like, just because I was raised this type of way, maybe that's not the best formula for, you know, my kids and so on and so forth. Because from what I'm hearing and researching on, a lot of the trauma we deal with comes from our family, like early childhood life, you know.
Which is crazy to think. And I want to piggyback on that too. Again, like I said earlier, like I had to go to like 2 funerals for me to understand like how the value and the significance of having a family. Like, dude, today, they don't want to get into it, but today was my grandmother's funeral, and shout out to my Bernal family, love you guys, and to everyone who watches this, just thank you so much for being there. But I didn't realize how big my family was. It was crazy. Like people, and I know there was still some family members that weren't able to go, but damn, I have a big ass family, and it's crazy to think that, you know, the impact and the love of family is there. You know, it's just our job to go and try to connect with that person.
True.
But again, I understand like there's complications, and that's okay. And I am coming to my realization that it takes, you know, sometimes you just got to take time to go ahead and process, go ahead and, you know, whatever you are dealing like within yourself, so that way you're able to go ahead and reach out that hand and or meet that person, you know, halfway in the bridge.
So something that I've learned is that you can't expect to fill everyone else's cup up if yours is not filled up first.
No, that's true. Which is why I said once that person is ready, and if or is ever ready.
Yeah.
I definitely agree with what you're saying, but what it all starts with letting that other party know, like, I'm ready when you are. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And that's, but the people that is reaching out also need to understand that to that person's respective individual, maybe they're not ready yet, and maybe it's going to be a short period of time, maybe it's going to be a long period of time, and maybe it's never, unfortunately. But for those who tried, I think that should be enough for that person. But I want to know, like, go into more details on what you meant by that, like the cup, the full cup, half cup, or empty cup.
Oh, well, maybe I wasn't listening fully. I just said that to just add on to what you were saying. Oh. I wasn't against what you were saying.
Oh, no, I just wanted to, I guess, I wanted you to go more detail into, like, what that metaphor or imagery?
How I interpret it.
Fucking English.
How I interpret it, it's just that you need to make sure your own self is good before you start, you know, trying to fix or like connect with other people you're not ready to connect with. And just make sure your self is straight before you keep lending out a helping hand, knowing that pretty much if you're drowning, how can you save someone else if you're fucking struggling to breathe?
That's, you know, good.
So that's just how I perceive it.
No, it goes back to what you said about self-love. Like, how can you love anyone or give love to anyone if you are still learning to love yourself?
Yeah.
Yeah, it does go back to that.
It does. Very much so.
All right, boo. You want to go to the next topic?
The next topic is going to be toxic ass relationships. I mean,
I got stories too, girl.
I got stories for days, but what I'm comfortable sharing is what I've learned from my toxic relationship, because at the end of the day, I wasn't always the good person in the situation either, and it takes two people to be in a relationship. Yeah. So, I mean, I'll just say that where I am on my self-love journey is because I was letting someone else have power over me and letting their definition of love affect who I was. And I was always wanting to please them, and that meant sometimes sacrificing my own morals, or that meant sometimes, you know, putting myself in a position where, you know, I'm in danger, essentially, or both parties are in danger. And that's when you come to a point where the relationship isn't about growing, and it's like you guys are literally like tearing each other down. That's when you need to realize, okay, like I need to move on. But that was like a 6-year relationship for me. And it's sometimes people gotta learn, and they gotta to go through all the bad shit in order to realize like their fucking worth, essentially. And it sucks. I wish I was the type of person that didn't have to learn the hard way and can just learn from other people's stories and, you know, see out the red flags as soon as they come. But I am working through like essentially seeing through people's bullshit and not letting people in and protecting my own energy, because a lot of people are going to try to fucking tear you down for no good reason other than they're just haters, or I don't know what it is. They are their own securities. That's why the only competition I have is within myself. I always want to uplift other people, and I never want to tear people down, because I know how it feels to be fucking torn down and dragged through the fucking mud. So why would I want to instill that upon other people? Yeah. That ain't in my character. But it sucks when you try to be friends and try to be cool with people, and they sense that as a weakness, and they say you're like, just think you're fucking naive, but no.
Or weak.
Weak, but you just have a good heart. And I mean, that's why I just stand by who I am with my actions. And, you know, if you don't fuck with me, you don't fuck with me. I say this at every fucking episode, but that's just my take on things, because I've been through so many traumatic events where, you know, people can easily fold in the situations I've been placed in, but I choose every day to fight and live. And there's some days where it's hard to even get out of bed, and, you know, that shit affects me, but that's why cultivating a great relationship with myself and being okay with being alone and trusting my intuition and, you know, surrounding myself with people who are on the same mindset as me help out a lot.
Yeah. Well said.
That was a lot of word vomit.
Well, I mean, toxic love is a shitload of word vomit.
I have a headache now. Goddamn.
To piggyback off of toxic relationships, I found out too that, well, it's basically what you said, is just if y'all are not supporting each other and y'all are just tearing each other down, I think that's
that shit feels like a drug at times. Yeah. It feels addicting, where it's like you feel like you can't live without this person, and like their whole life, your whole life depends on them. That's so toxic. That's codependency. That's some fucking mommy daddy issues.
No, yeah, I agree. Like shit, like yeah, it's stuff that certain people need to realize, and once they realize that, they understand like, oh shit, I need to work on myself, because it's like what you said, it takes two to tango. It's not just that one
But
partner, but it's, you know, the
I
other
also
person
want
too.
to say, if you do find yourself caught up in a toxic relationship, don't give yourself some fucking grace. Don't beat yourself up for going
Yeah,
to what you
yeah.
know is comfortable and what you're used to. Work through it with a therapist. I highly suggest going to therapy. I personally never did, but I feel like I need to hit up if a therapist wants to sponsor this episode. No, but
No,
yeah,
but yeah, I agree.
mental health is a big
is a
thing.
really big thing.
And, I've struggled with it. I have family members who I know struggled with it. And it's it's something that we need to not create a negative stigma around. We need to
Educate
know it's
ourselves,
okay to be
and
not
yeah,
okay.
yes,
It's okay to feel like shit.
yes.
We're fucking human beings.
Humans,
If we weren't feeling these negative emotions, I would be scared. You're like,
we are
what are you, a fucking robot with no emotion,
a
no setting other
souls.
than fucking happy? Like, we need to feel emotions in order to grow. And
Us souls need to survive,
the only
man.
the only thing is with toxic relationships, I know how easy it is to get into that fucking cycle of like manipulation and all these other factors that may play into it. But just give yourself some fucking grace and take it day by day. And this is ultimately your life, and you need to accept what you're willing to live until the day you die. And that sounds very dramatic, but it's reality, right? Am I tripping?
No, you're not, and I agree. But let's go ahead and segue to, yes, there's a toxic relationship, but what can a healthy relationship
Oh,
look
I
like?
can't speak on that.
You can give an idea, but I can go ahead and start. I think a healthy relationship is one. I hope the couple knows that there's no such thing as a perfect relationship. Like,
There's no such thing as perfect, period.
period. Yeah, there's hands down at all.
Except,
Like,
oh, well,
relationships, yeah, you can get a lot of high, but eventually you're gonna go to your lows. It's inevitable. The life just throws shit at you that whether you are prepared or not prepared, it's still gonna come and at a surprise, at a like it, what's that saying? When you least expect it. So there's no such thing as perfect. Once the couple realize that there is no such thing as perfect. Two, I think a lot of communication. Communication, like literally, as corny as it sounds, communication is motherfucking
why
key.
is communication corny, though?
Cause I don't know, I feel like when we were teens, adults would like, I know for me, adults would be like, just talk to each other, just communicating. And I'm not saying everyone, but there are some of those teens are like, yeah, communication, no shit. Like, yeah, right? Like, they think like, oh, sure. Like, they don't take it the advice as serious as they think they should or shouldn't. Or they should. Which is why I'm saying corny. Because there are just some people out there who think it is corny,
Well,
unfortunately.
you're dumb as fuck if you think communication is corny. I don't give a fuck.
But no, I am going to say it again. Communication is motherfucking key. Period. Three, supporting each other is what you need. Y'all don't need to beat each other down or hurt one another. However the case is, support one another. Support. Back to what we said about the bringing in that person's weakness and like using it. I guess it's manipulation. I guess like like when you realize like there's some sort of manipulation is being used, you need to stop and question yourself and be like, whoa. Or if you're the one being, manipulated, stop, question yourself. Whoa, this person just tried doing that. And try to figure out the solution and however or whatever the types of solutions are there, if that makes sense. And for like, I want to say the last thing, healthy, is realizing like why you love that person or why you care about the relationship. That helps out so much because it just reminds you on the things on why you care about that person so much, and keeping those little memories, like I think from one another, sharing it to each other once in a while, because sometimes you just need to hear that from them. It's not like every fucking day, but just getting that, like.
Do you believe in love languages? Love languages?
I think that there is. Everyone has their own, and this is my opinion, everyone I think has their own love language.
Right.
They just need to, because maybe the other person doesn't know, like that's their way of saying, that's their way of showing or saying or expressing their love. Mm-hmm. Because maybe that person, the opposite, or the person that you're having a partner with, seems a bit, what's that term? Estranged, or like, I don't know. I've never had this sort of experience with, love, right? Do you know what I mean? Like it's so complicated. Because everyone just has their own, again, go back to the definition of what love is. But I do think, just what your question, yes, I think every individual has their own love language.
Yes. So, have you taken that love language test by chance or not?
I haven't.
No. You didn't do your homework before coming on.
I had homework.
No, I'm just kidding.
Oh.
There ain't no homework to this. We're just shooting the shit.
Damn it. But we can try it after, and then we can share it for next episode.
Oh, we can share our interested in what our love language test.
Or we can share it also through our Instagram.
Oh, you plug us in real quick.
Okay. Well, again, I just want to say thank you guys for watching our episode today on the theme of the love and Valentine's Day. If you guys want to go on ahead and please subscribe and follow to our channel and give that little thumbs up to our video. It really means so much. If you're on Spotify, thank you so much for your follows. And if you can just go on ahead and press the download button, would really, really help us out. And Jaden, anything else that we need to add? Or
oh man, I just love to love. And I am not a bitter bitch about love, We just love around here. And we don't care who you love and what's in your pants. Mm-hmm. You just do you. Mm-hmm. Except for fucking pedophiles. I will shoot every one of you motherfuckers. Yes. Preach. I said that shit. Anyways.
Oh, good.
That's what I said. But again, thank you everyone for watching us and taking the time to listen to us ramble about love and our traumas about love and our beauties about love for him and for him, for example, but
the positive and the negatives on
yes.
That. So thank you guys. Again, thank you so much for you guys' support. Again, it would really help us out if you can share us, our social media, our videos to your peers, your neighbors, your friends, whomever. But yeah, go on ahead and do that. And thank you guys so much. Oh, before we go, do you want to share what's our goal for like subscriberships and or likes?
You can share that because I don't have those statistics off the top of my head.
I was actually thinking for like the first, just for a good goal, so because we're starting. I say let's try to reach for 100 subscribers, yo. We're like almost there. We just need like
we're like a quarter of the way there, so we need a lot of help right
So
now.
yeah, if you guys can help us out with that, it'd be so much appreciative. And then once we reach through 100, me and Jaden are gonna talk and see for like the next goal and see what would be an awesome.
We need those subscribers. We need those downloads. We need those follows.
Yes.
We're trying to cloud chase as much as we can at this point because I guess we're boring as fuck with our little, with our not. Yeah. So sorry for our listeners on Spotify.
Sorry. Yes.
But yes.
Anyways,
anyways, have a great day, everyone.
Thank yous. Mwah. And happy Valentine's Day.
Happy Valentine's Day.